What's going on, Tamers? It's your boys, the host of the one, the only DigiPod, the digital podcast. As you can see, we got someone new in the studio with us, Gino. Who is this we got?
Who could that be? The love of my life.
Appreciate that.
Yes. As you can see, we have a third member of the pod again. It is the Three Amigos. It is the Three Musketeers now back. We're back with three people. His name is Lewis. How's it going, Lewis?
Everything's been great. Pretty fun season of Digimon so far. You know, came a long way. Definitely met a lot of new friends. You guys in particular. We went from meeting at each other at
I didn't ask. I said, "How are you?" Not how we met. Stupid.
It's part of it. It's part of how I'm feeling. You're saying how am I feeling? I'm feeling grateful.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Don't rush it, man. They're here to listen to a whole hour and a half minimum podcast. Don't give it to them in 2 seconds.
Oh, wait a second.
Geez.
If we're the Three Musketeers, can I be Beelstar?
I didn't even think about it like that. Three Musketeers. I got you. Yeah, I'll gladly be Gunsramon. He's the coolest one.
I guess I am either Magna or Avenge Kidmon.
It depends on how angry you are that day, I think.
Always Avenge Kid. It's I don't know if you guys can see the hat properly, but it says somewhere between locking in and crashing out.
Yep, exactly.
Avenge Kidmon,
Gino,
definitely.
How's it going for you, Gino?
Good, man. Doing pretty good. Beautiful day here in Pennsylvania.
Sure is.
Supposed to be an awesome week. Be borderline 90 on Friday. So
amazing.
What about you, Dan?
So as doing good, doing great, fantastic. Besides some other things going on, doing pretty good. You know, beautiful weather is always a plus. It adds to the the hypeness. As I was saying before, we are in a new season of Digimon for podcast, I should say, Digimon podcast. And so we're back with three people, like I mentioned before. Lewis, my guy, where did it all begin for you? You know, tell your backstory on how we got to this point. You know what I'm saying? They're going to want to hear from you. We're going to have another mind on this pod. That's always going to be great to have different takes than us probably because he always has bad takes in person, so might as well have bad takes on the podcast. You know what I'm saying? So we have more people talk, so it's always good.
All right. So I guess I'll start at the beginning with how I got into card games. It was early high school. I'm talking about 2006. I was a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh. I still am at heart, even though I don't play the game right now. Very, very surface level. I keep an eye on the meta, the stuff like that. But always a fan of the anime. I played the game incorrectly, like everybody did at the start of Yu-Gi-Oh. I normal summon Dark Magician, but Warrior 2 tribute summons. I'm like, what the fuck's a tribute summon? Like, what is that? And they're like, and then I started learning the fundamentals of the game. I started off with opening up a couple boxes of I think it was whatever set Solemn Judgment came in. Was that Pharaonic Servant? I think
that might
PSV?
be Pharaonic Servant. Yes.
Yeah. So PSV, I started off with like 2 copies of Solemn Judgment, not knowing the value of the card at the time, by the way. So I put 2 of them in the deck, and I'll be like, you know what? I'm playing casually with my friends. Oh, they tribute summon 2 to play Blue Eyes White Dragon. I'm like, all right, cool. Solemn Judgment, and they're like, oh, that's unfair, but you're at 4,000 life points now. I'm like, yeah, like. I think I could do good with 4,000. And then I just proceed to just, summon Dark Blade and Gemini Elves and just swing out for 19s. So the game became very casual at the start. And then eventually around 2008, 2009, I got into, my first pre-release for Yu-Gi-Oh! And then that's where I met one of my friends. His name is Chrome. He actually legally changed his name to Chrome. Originally, he was a Michael. And he started teaching me the deeper fundamentals of the game, like fusion summoning and special summoning other creatures out and, putting different cards into the deck. And then it all evolved into my first competitive deck, which was Teledad. So for anybody who knows for any of the degeneracy that people remember, Teledad was one of the most unfair decks of Yu-Gi-Oh! At its time, spitting out 2,800 bodies, Stardust Dragon, Goyo Guardian, Brionic, the Dragon of the Ice Barriers. Yeah, the whole name. I threw out his whole government name. Dark Arm Dragon, aka Dad. Everybody loved Dad. And I started playing at a lot more locals. If anybody's like a Bronx native that's listening to this, I used to play at Mel's before it became truly urban, which was literally like on the corner of Fordham Road, which is on the more closer to the southern side of the Bronx. And we basically played outside on milk crates and pull-out tables for, you know, prizing. So we were playing for boxes, high-end cars. And honestly, it was really overwhelming because, you know, I was early high schooler into this like competitive environment where people are already in their mid-20s playing this game for years. And that's where I met a lot of like my longstanding trading card game friends that, you know, over time, you know, we separated, we got back together. Now I'm closer to some of them now. So Yu-Gi-Oh took its time on me. I think up until 2000 I'm trying to think how long I played DBS for. I think it was about 2015. I played Yu-Gi-Oh straight through regionals, YCSs, multiple national invites, never went to worlds, but, you know, I had fun getting there either way. I was pretty whack. There's clearly a lot better players that dedicated a lot more time into that game than I did. But, you know, I came out, I played, I loved it. I traveled different parts of the US, especially for nationals. And then there was a couple of times where I did travel across the sea for YCSs over there after they stopped becoming Shonen Jumps. So I have a little bit of globetrotting under the belt. And then my next card game was actually DBS, which was the first Bandai game I got into. DBS started very slow. Yeah, you know, DBS got me. A lot of my friends that were playing Yu-Gi-Oh at the time, they switched over to DBS because, of course, you know, big anime fans. Dragon Ball was a great growing up anime for us who, you know, needed something to watch after getting out of school or during the Toonami. God, I love Toonami.
What a golden era.
It was
Seriously,
the greatest thing.
just the best.
We had Big O, we had Sailor Moon, we had Outlaw Star, we had Tenchi Muyo, Universe, Tenchi Forever. Samurai Champloo. That's a good one too.
Hell yeah.
And DBS took my attention for a while. I liked it. It felt like magic. It didn't feel like magic. But then the game evolved to a point where essentially I can just spit out 6 guys and just swing at life and take you out in a turn or put you in a moment where you can't even interact with me. So eventually DBS fell out of love with it. They hit one of my favorite decks like very, very quickly, which was King Vegeta, which was at the start of like, I think like BT 16 for DBS. So I played for a while. And then at that point, Digimon was actually going into BT 5, so Battle of Omni. And that was my intro into it. Yeah, it was my first intro into that format. And my friend introduced it to me because during COVID, we used to come to my place and we played card games. And we had that one friend. He's like, yo, I'm going to bring Digimon. I'm like, oh, like, let me see how that's like. And he played me with a jank BT4 blue hybrid deck. Yeah, cat.
She literally always comes on pod. Like, whenever we do pod, she's just like, oh, time to show up. Like,
oh, Dad's on camera. I'm in there.
Yep.
She said, let me get my 15 minutes of fame.
He's like, I'm a cat.
She got the face for it. She looks so annoyed.
Yep.
It's like you brought attention to me. Now I'm gonna be sassy. So Digimon brought me in at BT5. I immediately played what was it, Omni Shoutmon or Shoutmon DX. I played Shoutmon DX, which is the intro into a Blitz deck. And I'm like, wow, this deck seems pretty cool. I could swing for 3 checks on my opponent's turn and then attempt to go into Omnimon for game for the next turn after I clear them out. Got the brakes beaten off me back to back. And I was like, all right, I like the game. Let me get more into it. Ended up playing Nidhogg for a little bit. I like Digiburst.
Green Nidhogg back then?
Green Nidhogg back then. I was just Digizorbing into Nidhogg and then everything. You know, bottom deck everything. Yeah, and then that actually got the ball rolling in my head. I didn't really play at my current locals. I was playing somewhere else, and then that was like my intro into the game. And then eventually, with like the questionable plays guys, we got together at Truly Urban because they started supporting Digimon, and then that's when BT6 Double Diamond came out, which was Gabuban format. And then I immediately fell full swing into the game. Like I loved, you know, Gabumon's one of my favorite Digimon. Clearly not Agumon. And I enjoyed like
who brought this guy
how the blue mechanic is. Yo, blue
Listen, you're
aficionado at heart.
outmatched now. Listen, you got two Gabumon stands over here.
Yeah.
You're the odd man out now, Dan.
So Gabumon's got me in, and I played like the simple variation with just, build into Gabumon, swing, and then I played the version that played the promo Lobomon, so I was able to play the Angar that swung twice. Yep. And I was like, yeah, I'm like, this is heat. And then sometimes I would evo up the line, and I would just go into Gabumons over Ancient Garurumon and just swing again for another 2 times. And I was like, this deck is pretty cool. And then EX1 came out. I got Ice Wall. They hit Ice Wall. They hit Hammer Spark. And I was like, okay, I'm like,
well, Hammer Spark was a little later.
I know, but we lost Ice Wall. I lost shenanigans of playing 4 Ice Walls pass.
Toxic.
That's terrible.
You want to turn sideways and give me 8 memory? No, just Evo, go to 1. Okay, memory setter. Let's go to 3. Let's do this again. And it was pretty cool that we got to enjoy that format. I got to enjoy a very powerful deck, and then I got to see how high Digimon was able to get. Not at the broken levels that DBS was at its time, but I was able to see how slowly this game was going to creep up into, crazier formats, which later evolved into OTKs, putting your opponent into critical, security control, and then hybrid format came back after BT4, and I loved playing blue hybrids for a little bit. And then my main deck at that time was actually yellow hybrids, so just not dying the game.
So we just replaced Varney. Great.
And then as the game progressed over time, I played before that I played Lord Nightmon, I played Gabumons, I played any form of Garurumon. So when the X form came out, I was excited to be able to play, swing Evo unsuspend, do this, do that. I was like, oh, this is great. And this was before Protoform, so I was like, all right, I guess I'm giving up memory or whatever. It all ramped up to our first nationals in LA, where I took I took Grandis to that nationals during Black War Gray format. Even though I wanted to play All Force, but I did not feel fun losing to Hades Force and just getting all my tamers blown up. And then Nationals was essentially, the first real feeling that, okay, this game is incredibly competitive for me, and I like a competitive card game. So I went full swing into that, which went into buying cases, buying more boxes, having so much extra cards that I was able to supply them to some of the people in our community who didn't have the luxury of buying boxes, but still wanted to play and show love for the game. Oh, how much is that worth? I'm like, I really don't care. It's $5, $6, $7, $8, $12. I don't care. Just play the deck. Let's get you off the ground and, into full swing, which was probably one of the parts that I liked that I brought from Yu-Gi-Oh! Into Digimon, which is, I want everybody to be able to play at their full power, or at least close to it within, specific means, because some people don't want to play things outside the theme of their Digimon, which are like the fans more so than the competitive card players. So they didn't want like the Blitz Omnimons. They didn't want the Ancient Garurumons. They wanted just to be able to play their, bird deck or their Rust Tyrannomon, or, even the ones that played like traditional tribal War Greymon, like giving them the access to the security +1 starter deck Greymons that no one had at the time. And I was just, just tossing them out because I really didn't play the deck. Multiple regionals, multiple nationals, different formats. I played this game straight through BT5. I took a year off during, what format was it? I think it was when Cross was in full swing. I think that's when I stopped playing for a little bit. With, I think it was when Death X had just come out, which was
so BT9. That's BT9.
Just around BT9. I took like a break, and then I got into it because Nationals was that format. Or was it BT10? It was Dimensional Phase was
BT11
first national.
was that nationals.
Was it BT11?
In person? The first in-person one?
Yeah, the first in-person.
Yeah, that was Black War Greymon format.
Yeah, so BT11. And I have my gripes with the game, but look, I'm covered with extra cardboard everywhere. Like the fact that the camera doesn't show everything else is kind of crazy. I have a whole wire rack filled with decks, staples, everything. And you guys have seen some of my decks where I've like nearly maxed out a deck that I enjoyed. So
not nearly. I've seen you max rare with Hudimon, so I'm not trying to hear that.
I mean, Hudimon, Purple Hybrid was also maxed out.
Hey.
All my Metal Garurumon decks are always maxed out. If it has, the only thing I didn't have for it is the the serial number Metal Garurumon, the secret rare one. Only because people holding that close to the chest and they don't want to move them. So I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it's not for me just yet.
So what he's trying to say is that man's got money. So I'll max rarity whatever I feel like.
Well, you call it money. I call it future debt. Future debt's a fun thing. Don't get into it though. It's not worth it half the time. But getting to see my pretty cardboard and getting that little bit of serotonin rush every time I look at it, I'm like, yes.
Look, I'm gonna quote Mike. I might have bricked, but at least my hand is pretty to look at.
Yeah, I mean this card's pretty to look at, but it's terrible.
That's an ass card right there.
Oh man, but I love looking at it.
It's not a bad card, but it's not actually a bad card.
It's just not a good card, like for the next couple of years until they decide to support this form of Metal Garurumon. But we're never gonna get another Garurumon X that's as good as the EX. What was it, 5?
Yep, EX5, the
EX5,
set of our sins. Like,
90%
of the cards in that set are put to one.
And I think EX5
I'm waiting for the Leopard X hit. Like, one day they're going to accidentally break green, and Leopard X is going to get banned because it's just Anubismon, just with smaller legs.
Yeah, but with being able to bounce is a lot better than de-digivolving. I mean, than blowing up sometimes with so much on-deletion shenanigans happening right now. And draw, yeah. Sarismon and Bacchus Saris, Bacchus, TS are the closest thing to a full power green deck that we're going to see for a very long time.
True.
Until
in that type of bloom soon.
Yeah, or bloom. Oh yeah, well with the new Bloom Lord coming out.
Depending on what it does. Depends what it does. We gotta wait.
Yeah,
for sure.
Watch it not support green at all. Watch it be like a blue card or a yellow card.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be a fucking Wind Guardians card or some shit, and I'm gonna be pissed.
No. It could be. I think he is Wind Guardian, right?
I'm not sure. I
Yes,
forget if he's Wind Guardians or
is.
Nature Spirits, but
Probably
still.
both.
Could be.
It could be both, but I doubt it's gonna fully support plants the way they want them to, which is gonna be very sad. The way Cliff wants it to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Although I love my green as much as Cliff does, I still have my Bloom Lord maxed out. I had so much fun playing that deck, but HPD being a one of, Argomon being a one of, is a little weird for me. And there's no Digisorption cards. Now they're gonna have to make a whole new keyword skill that's gonna be specific for plants. Watch.
Probably. We'll see. That's future time. We'll see. Future us.
And then actually, I think the EX5 is when me and my friends, we went to Connecticut to go to, what is it?
Case event?
It was a case event for EX5. It was like Unsettled Geeks. We went there for our first like going out of state like full case tournament, and then that's how we started promoting our stuff for Questionable Plays, which was the our case tournaments, our 3v3s. Well, first started as case tournaments, and eventually the 3v3s. So that's how we met a lot of the Connecticut guys, and then eventually that's how we met you guys too. Which I think it was our case event that you guys came to, right? It was when Varney was actually playing.
I'm trying to think when we first met, because it might have been Nats.
Might have been. But how?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. It's been such a long time.
No, I think it was before, the Questionable Play started hosting tournaments when again? Do you remember? Like when they first started doing the case events?
Let me check. Let me check my timeline right now. All I gotta do is just check from when the group was created, because that's how far ago we went. Let me see. Announcements. Let's scroll all the way to the beginning of time.
I mean, that's definitely how I met Lewis, because I went along with Dan, and Lewis was like, "Oh, you're with Dan? You're cool by association. What up?"
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm pretty sure I knew Lewis and some of the people there already
definitely
prior to that. Yeah.
Prior to me going anyway, but as we all know, I started later than these guys when it comes to Digimon.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, we're going back in time right now. Jesus Christ. BT16, EX7, BT14. So we started in. Wow, I'm still going.
Jesus Christ.
BT12.
Wow.
Okay, I don't know if we went.
We started in 23.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah, we started in BT12 in 23.
It wasn't at always Rogue State Gaming, was it?
No, we first ran box tournaments online through Discord, which got the people that couldn't really make it to locals on the regular times, which at the time for us was Wednesdays and Sundays at Truly in the Bronx. We didn't start going to Rogue State, I think, until what was the set before EX7? I'm trying to remember.
I don't remember off the top of the head, honestly.
17? BT17 or BT16, around there. That's when we first started running the case tournaments there. Because EX7 was a 3v3.
That makes more sense on when we first started going to that. Because we started going to when you brought over when you went to Rogue State Gaming.
Yeah, that's when we first did it. Yeah. So it was BT16 or 17, and then EX7 was the 3v3, our first 3v3.
Yes, that sounds about
where
right.
everybody. Where demon lords were running rampant and people were trying to figure out a way to play it. And
yeah,
I remember, I think that was the same time that Lord Nightmon X came out. Roughly. Or is the set afterwards? Because I remember playing Lord Nightmon X for an event. Yeah, I remember playing Lord Nightmon X, but playing the 3-drop floodgates as my targets for the regular Lord Nightmon. So bringing back Pillow Mom, bringing back
wasn't that the tournament I beat you a Millennium on?
Yeah, and I was just there like,
what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I'm like, you blow yourself up to DNA and then you do what exactly?
Yep. But the funniest part, probably technically wrong by me if a judge were to walk by it, me not saying anything. Gino, you obviously know what Mishijimon says, where it says on the DNA with a Chimera on board. He kept misreading it and thought that it was Chimeramon like in trash as well, that you could DNA. Because a lot of people thought that's what it was in the beginning. Right. And so I just sat there like, just said nothing. I didn't agree or disagree. I just sat there, was like,
you did the right thing. As a competitive player, you did the right thing. Because it was my job to know what the
but
cards
he wasn't
did.
asking about it. He like read it out like,
asking the right questions.
So you could DNA from the trash. I was like, but it was like more of a not a question. It was more like
thinking out loud.
Yeah, it was thinking out loud type.
I was like, that can DNA from trash, not that can DNA from trash, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just sitting there like let him like mull over his plays, and he just and then he just left the machine on there. I was like, all right, cool. Next turn, I'll hard Evo into Millennium on, and he's like, what the fuck? It was so funny.
Shit was funny.
But then when I did pop off and did like a Chimera pop machine or whatever the vice versa, I did whatever it was. He was like, so you gonna grab that in the trash? I'm like, no, I got DNA with it on board. He was like, I've been reading this wrong this whole time.
Yup. It's always interesting because I don't really play a lot of like those like other decks aside from like what's ever prevalent in the meta. So whenever someone comes up with like Millenniumon back then, now I know what Millenniumon does, but like old Millenniumon, I was like, how does it become Millenniumon? This is DNA on deletion. I'm like, that can DNA from trash. I'm like, that's pretty broken. Why am I not playing this? And
it was so funny.
Yeah, and then going back and forth with like our case tournaments, meeting up at store regionals whenever we like came across each other, nationals every single time. So you're the DGU guys here, and then over time we became cool. Me and some of the guys from the Bronx, we joined the Big East chat, and then met the other personalities, the people who've come to our case tournaments and we haven't really interacted with. Learned more about them through that Big East chat, and I'm just like,
perhaps too much at times.
Perhaps too much, yeah. And I'm just there staring at the chat like, yeah, I expected this. Why did I think something else? It was definitely interesting to see how across whatever distance, like people are still pretty degenerate.
Oh yeah,
it doesn't matter where you are. It's right here. It's right here in the heart where it's at.
If you're born and raised in the trenches of Yu-Gi-Oh, you have some degenerate in you.
Oh yeah,
there's some toxicity there.
Yeah,
Lord, I mean, to be a good player, you gotta have something in there with all those cheating and all the crazy people that are in Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, it's crazy.
The exposure to it is nuts because it definitely puts a different eye in, like, you know, a lot of people aren't used to like the hand shuffling. They're not used to me asking how many cards do they have in the hand. Oh, can I see your trash? What's the board state? Like, what has it effects on your turn that can affect me right now? All right, is anything a floodgate? No. Okay, cool. I'm gonna pop off right now. Evo into Duskmon. Swing Evo into
Velgar from trash.
Into Velgar from trash. Oh, that's crazy. Live, pop that because that shit's purple. Blow up everything else. Like, it's interesting how much like Yu-Gi-Oh basically set the foundation for how most of us, if we come from that era of card game, into like interacting with the board and like understanding, you know, little player ticks. Although I do say that a lot of the players in Digimon, they don't really know when to keep their mouth shut when they draw badly. So I'm just like, great. Now you told me that I can essentially win right now. Like, why'd you take that away from me?
Right.
Like, why'd you take that away from me? Like, I don't like that. I like back and forths. I like, also, weirdly enough, I like feeling like I'm in a losing state. So if I do manage to get a pretty good, you know, crack back, it feels really good when I win. Because it doesn't feel completely one-sided, and, you know, one-sided games feel like bullying, and I really don't like bullying. But sometimes the decks I play choose to bully by default, so I don't know if that says more about the card game or more about my personality in decks.
I mean, some of my most favorite matches I've ever played in Digimon are matches that I've lost because they were just that good, going like back and forth, you know?
Yeah, so definitely. So that's what I kind of like about Digimon, because like you can just, especially right now in the game state, like, you know, just going Asuna, bringing back a dude and just popping off from there is sometimes really cool. Or one of the digi-know plays from this weekend with Coronamon, that was nice.
Oh, we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
Oh yeah, we will.
Yeah, but you know, it's great. It's great being here. I like the card game. I like the friends I made along the way. You know, being on the pod with you guys is a new experience that I never thought I'd, you know, actually go into. Always talking about being on a podcast, starting a podcast, but, you know, being part of it is definitely, it's nice. It feels like I've gotten to a state of the game where like I can actually talk about it, and, you know, whether people like my opinion or my view on it, it's whatever. At least I get to chat about it.
Hey, once you hit like 30, when you hit 30, you start getting like the just the itch to podcast. Like, it just happens to all men at the age of 30. It's just like, you know what? I got something to talk about, and someone's gonna listen.
And it's gonna be you. You know, it's gonna be you, the viewer.
Exactly.
Yeah. Should be a different dynamic now with Lewis in the squad now. If you remember, he was on 2 different episodes in the past. He was our guest sometime last year, I think it was. And then I think it was 2 years ago, probably, because it was with Varney. I think it was 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago at this point. I think that we had brought him on.
No, I think I was on 3 because it was the one with Varney. Then it was me talking about Taka Mikazuchi, our nationals trip. And now this. So we're up to 4 now.
The DGU guest to main person pipeline. I guess so,
maybe. Yeah. All right. So maybe, no. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So I guess it was always bound to happen, you know? He was on here more often than not than I thought, I guess.
We'll take a look at the videos.
First one. The Taka was the first one.
Taka was the first one?
Yeah.
Okay, so then it's 3 and I was lying. You know, fake news.
This man trying to be more famous than he thought he was. No,
he was always a rising star.
A rising star, facts. But yeah, so it's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun to have him on the pod, like I just mentioned before. With that being said, we always going to still talk about locals. Lewis might have more in the future when it comes to locals, but today is going to be our coveted 3v3 tournament that we were at Questionable Plays, aka Rogue State Gaming, for the 3v3 case tournament. It was awesome. It was fun. It was a full house too. It was 20 teams, so 60 people for this event. Low key could have been like a mini regional because we have 64-man regionals coming up, store regionals coming up, which you'll hear all about our regionals moving forward. Lewis might be in more than us, so he might have more to talk about in the future. I'm only
driving.
I'm only in 3 technically right now because I don't really need to do like a whole bunch of them. I think Gino might be in a couple more, but we'll see. Moving forward, if he decides to go in those or not. But we'll have all the good stuff in the future when it comes to that. It's gonna be a lot of competitive talk in the near future with June/July with store regionals. Should be fun times ahead of us. With that being said, let's talk about it. 3v3. It was us 3 right here. It was DGU and Lewis, Dan, obviously myself, Gino, and Lewis. We were team DGU. We didn't even like make a different name because we already knew. We secretly ingrained Lewis into the squad. You know what I'm saying? So, the
original name would have been cool too.
What, DGUL?
No, DGU plus L or Gino's favorite one.
I was a DGU and you.
Oh no! I mean, there was also Team Star Fox.
Hell yeah, Star Fox. Listen, we are all hyped. In about less than a month now, we get the Star Fox remake again. Star Fox 64 for the 4th time, baby. Let's go!
Yeah.
Let's go! I love playing ports. That's what I live for.
Nah, I'm stoked though. I don't care.
Yeah,
you put Star Fox in front of me, and I'm eating good.
Including Zero Mission.
Yeah.
Especially Zero Mission.
And with that being said, with this 3v3, we took home the crown right here. Yes, sir.
Yeah, W's all around.
The squad
right there.
Undefeated through 7-0 squad. We had, honestly, I think we all just went like X1 at different points, and that was actually fantastic that no one went X1 at the same time because that means we would have taken an L. So it was fine. I played ShineGreymon. Lewis played Beelstar, and Gino played Vulcanus. I guess we would talk about each round together, so we don't keep ongoing for one person. Round 1, we played against the world champ Peter and his team. We cooked their asses because they're bums, especially world champ Peter.
Damn.
Oh no, not like this.
Listen, let it be known that I was the one that beat Pete, and so I'm basically the new world champion. Like, I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Yeah, it's Highlander rules. You just got a little bit stronger.
I'm just saying now, even though I didn't play him, I'm 3-0 against him now in tournament play. I'm just saying, I'm just saying. World champ different, skill different.
But you know what they say though? Every dog has their day. Pete's gonna have his day again soon. Watch, it's gonna happen. We got so many regionals coming up.
He gonna lose another one.
No, listen, we don't know. We got store champs. We got store champs that overlap against each other. We never know. Maybe he'll get off of security control this time.
Yeah. Security control will die in today's world. But anyways, all jokes aside, for me, I played against Alter S, Adventure Alter S. Adventure Alter S, if they have everything, it's a very hard deck to deal with. Fortunately for me, he did not. As a ShineGreymon player, round 1, game 1, I should say, I just straight up cooked him. I had a great starting hand. It didn't brick. I had good searching going, trainings, DGOs, whatever you want. And then I ended up just doing the Shine shenanigans and OTK'd him from like 4, I think it was at that point. He just didn't see what he needed to see. He went to, I remember the play. I popped his board. I went to room mode, and then he had the black option to play a low 5 or lower adventure. So then he played Sag, stunned one of my tamers, so I couldn't OTK him. My fault. And not OTK him on that one. But the following turn, I killed the Sag regardless. Don't remember how, but I just know I killed it in the same turn. And then he went into, I think he hard dropped Crest, I think it was, or something like that. I know he got something big on board. And then the following turn, I was able to deal with it, and then I beat him in that game. Game 2, I thought he was gonna get me because I saw one champion that whole game, and that first stack ended up dying, I believe, something like that. Did 2 checks. he went into BlitzGreymon. He did a whole ping pong, and then stopped with a Sag and a Blitz. I was like,
oh no,
oh my god, I got this W now. Probably, maybe we'll see. But the fact he didn't get there, it was good for me, right? But he did have double protection, so I had to like deal with his board in a roundabout way, which was called ShineGreymon Burst Mode, a dual card, neg 15 or something.
Card.
And then 8001 ShineGreymon is goated for things like that, because now in ShineGreymon you have lingering DP neg, which is great in today's game because Digimon protection is so pivotal. And so I was able to go neg like 15 on the other one. So then the following turn, everything just dies on his board. And then he tries to, I think he hard drops another Blitz to de-digivolve my stack. And then the following turn, again, I didn't find another champion. So this is when I first started doing this combo, which is kind of funny. I had him down to 3. I swing with like a rookie or something like that. And then I go hard job, Rise Gray, make Marcus into a Digimon, Digivolve, put the neg, whatever, aligns 2 checks, and then put him to 0 and end of turn, Marcus swing for game. That's legit sometimes my win con, which is funny as hell thinking like that. Like, don't even evo your Rise Greymon. Just swing with your champion and then hard drop the Rise. And as long as you have the Marcus that go end of turn swing, you're Gucci. And as long as you have another one to play or you have one on your board, like, you're chilling. And it's kind of funny that way. He's like, you give them 7, they're like, oh, all right, cool, I got another turn. Psych, you got no turns. You would have thought. And,
everything in the front and in the back is about to turn sideways.
Exactly. And that was a 2-0 win for me, while my compadres were still duking it out. So who are we going next for that one?
I guess I'll go next since I was playing Beelstar with the new stuff. I ended up playing into ShineGreymon, but he was playing like Nokia and Analog Youth in his build.
Unnecessary text.
Which, in a weird way, it did help him in terms of like playing out the Agumons to search, the additional searches at the start. A lot more deck thing. I was still getting used to Beelstar because I haven't really played it at a locals. I was playing it more so on DCGO just to understand the fundamentals of the deck. And I was doing my play lines perfectly, but sometimes against a tamer heavy deck, if you can't finish your plate, I played out 2 8001's Marcuses in game 1. Oof. He essentially cooked my stuff with the original, I think it was BT. What's the ShineGreymon that gives the dude security tech +1?
BT12.
The BT12 ShineGreymon. He was playing one of those, and he had brought it out with a Rise Greymon. So not only was the Marcus swinging for Alliance, it was also swinging for an additional security check from the ShineGreymon. So he was able to put me to critical very quickly. I didn't have a proper crackback. Lost game 1. Game 2. Essentially the same thing happened. I tried swinging too early and ended up playing out some Marcuses. But I did manage to do, the Beelstar bind red trigger into trashing his security, trash the Marcus, which felt great. And then I found another Marcus in his security, so not great for me. And then it just became a slow decline into getting the loss. But, I know when to not drag out a game. So I was like, you know what, you got it. Just pack it up, shuffle it up, waste the energy in the next game. So I took the loss in that round for our team.
As for me, I played Vulcanus. A little rewind a little bit. I was going to play Glowing Dawn. We were talking about this. I was like, I played 2 locals with Glowing Dawn, won them both. And I was feeling really good about it. And then like the night before, I'm like looking at Glowing Dawn lists.
Started cooking.
I started looking at Glowing Dawn lists on Digimon Meta, and I'm like, man, how comes people aren't running the same 4s that I'm running? Like, what's going on here? And I start overthinking my list. I start looking at everything, and I'm like, man, like I'm only on 8. I'm only on 8 5s. Everybody's on like 9 10. I'm like, maybe I just don't know. Maybe I just don't got it. And so I was still locked into Glowing Dawn until we got to the event. And Dan and I got there a little early. Dan actually is usually famously late or right on time. And so this time he was actually like 15 minutes early. And I'm like, holy crap, what are you doing here? So we had a little bit of extra time and traffic was really light. So we got there a little early, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to play this Vulcanus list that I won locals with the previous week against Dan real quick, and let's see. And I was cooking. It was doing everything for me. It was just popping off. There was nothing. Like, I was like, you know what? I think I'm sending Vulcanus today. Yeah. So I edited my list. I changed the Google form because you have to like submit it via Google form for their events. And I'm like, you know what? We're going Vulcanus. And I'm happy I did because not a single person in the room played Vulcanus. And I love that feeling. I love being the guy that plays the one weird deck and cooks everyone with it. That's like kind of my calling card at the Mahwah events. One in, what was that? In special release booster, it was Crossheart. I cooked everyone with the X6. In what was the last one? I don't remember what it, I think it was the EX9 format.
The one after.
EX9, DM. I made it all the way to finals with DM Chimera and just cooked everybody for the most part. So this time it was going to be Vulcanusmon, and boy howdy did I. So
boy howdy.
Vulcanusmon's insane. The way I have it built, you can OTK from 4 with just Dan and Cannon on the board, as long as you have enough the pieces that you need, and like a really small amount of pieces. Like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I can OTK from 4 after I raise and I have all this setup. Not Vulcanus, man. You slam Vulcanus and you just go off. Yeah. Like the way Digimon works, since Vulcanus's reduction is just if you have less Digimon than me, they probably removed you. They probably are doing something, and it makes Vulcanus just like this instant crackback deck that just punishes you for playing the game, depending on, you know, making sure you found all your options and do everything. There's a lot of Digimon protection in the game right now and not a lot of option protection, which is why Beelstar is doing so well. And it makes Vulcanus do really well too, because I got all the options I could ever want to play. My list had 16. I'm going to go up to 18 options, I think, going forward. But that's neither here nor there. Talking about round 1, I played against Pete. Pete was playing the craziest stuff. You know, when Pete flips, yellow Upamon egg, goes Salamon, and then plays Akari and says, "But I love you, bro," you know you're in for something. So Pete was playing security control dark dragons. So the idea is you play your normal yellow security control stuff. So you're playing the Magna Angemon that on play recovers 1. He's playing Magna Ange Ace. He's playing Airdramons to grab stuff out of security. He's playing the Salamons to get the recovery.
TK with hands. I remember that.
Yep. But he's also playing Yukis, War Growlmons, and Megidramons. So a lot of the time in security control, right, a big problem was always card draw, because you play a card, you're not really evolving much, so you're not drawing. Well, he just leans into that and goes with Yuki. I'm just going to dump hands, that way I can get back my Dark Dragons every turn if I want them. So I remember the very first thing he did was drop Airdramon. Like, he evoed in the bag, dropped Kari. I got my setup, and then he drops Airdramon. And I come out, I happen to find my level 5 Locomon, and I'm like, I'm just going to collide with this thing and get it off the board. And as soon as I do, he goes, counter timing Magna Angemon Ace. And I'm like, we're playing aces in current day and age?
Oh no.
Started licking my lips. Started getting ready. I couldn't actually remove it that turn. But his next play, then he runs Mastamon, because you play the War Growl, you can go into Mastamon off of that, or you can go Mastamon off the thing, and Mastamon is annoying to remove. You can't really swing into security with Mastamon on the field until you remove it, because of, you know, Mastamon effect will just put your body in security. Vulcanus doesn't give a damn about any of that. Vulcanusmon hits you with D-Digivolve. Vulcanusmon has 2 layers of protection, so you got to remove it 3 times. At one point, I hit Wyvern's Breath out of security when I'm at 20k. Don't even care. Like, his deck just unfortunately did not really function against mine. I could easily just chip, because Vulcanus doesn't care about their rookies or their 4s or their stack at all. A lot of the time, you're just slamming Vulcanus. So I just chipped him down and ran through him. I remember the first game went on kind of long because I was still trying to figure out what exactly are you playing, right? And how do I play around it, right? Mm-hmm. So as I was trying to figure it out, I'm like, oh, my deck's getting low. So I start pulling it back on the draw. I'm like, all right, we're not going to trigger Corona effect. We're not going to do this. Like, still style it back a little and make it there. But we got there. And then game 2, when I understood how his deck functions a little better, I kind of just ran through it. So it was more or less a 2-0 for me.
Yep. So round 1, we took the dub. Besides Lewis's first impression on us with a disappointment loss, you know, and
but I didn't lose afterwards, which is what mattered.
True, exactly. So, anyways, round 2 we played. I think I played Beat Break against Beat Break round 2, right? That was that one.
It was Beat Break against
I don't know what you guys played. I just know what I played.
I played against Gallantmon.
Yes, because yes. See, Gino, I knew I would remember more with him on pod because I remember seeing like his stuff more than like yours. Because you played against. I looked over to my left. Gino's opponent is decked out in Vortex Dramon stuff. The mat was Vortex stuff. The sleeves was Vortex. I looked at him. I was like, light work. Like, this is he's cooking. Like, and then I go to him. I was like, yo, if that's what I think it is, light work. You're cooking him. He was like, I guess we'll see, you know. But I was like, nah, it's Vortex. You just auto win. There's nothing they can do about that. And now I look over to my right. I see him playing Gallon, and I'm like, I think you got this, right? He was like, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
And then I open my hand against Beat Break. And I show it to Lewis, I think, first. I was like, I think I'm good. And that was the hand I had.
Correct.
For Shine, I had it was a rookie, double training, double DGO. I was like, fuck it, we ball. Like,
and you know this man didn't find anything.
This time I did. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. You're right, because I
think that was the one where you ended up breaking.
I found one Marcus. No, I didn't break. I just only found one Marcus as there was.
They were all together. They were all together in the bottom of the deck.
Yep, basically. And so we play the game out. He's playing Beat Break. I'm just going rookie in the back. I go training, DGO and stuff. I find everything, including just one Marcus, and I get burst mode. In my head, I'm like, as long as if I find another Marcus, I just win, because burst mode, you burst mode Evo, you pick up your tamer that's already on the board that's suspended, you play it back out, and you have 2 tamers at once, and then you just swing out and go for game, basically. I couldn't do that, so I put him down to like 1 security. Gave him resources, unfortunately. But fortunately for me, he could not close me out. I think I ended up having to... I went to burst mode. But I went into room mode afterwards, and it turned into like a grind at like 1 or 2 security. And at one point, no, that was game 2. I go into room mode. He couldn't do anything, and I just went out. So game 2 happens. No, it might have been game 1. Lewis, when did I drop the burst mode as a dual card? Was that same round?
No, you dropped that one when we were already in.
Because I remember playing Beat Break.
Cut.
That was the other Beat Break. Okay, that was the other Beat Break.
That was the other Beat Break and Top Cut that we were playing against. And you also did it again. You did it again against.
I did it like twice.
You did it against when we were playing against Drew's team in round 3. But that's later.
Yeah, I did. So round 1, I got it. Cool. Round 2 happens. And I'm a little slow out of the gates. This time I find my Marcuses, but I don't find a Rise.
Game 2.
Yeah, game 2. I don't find. I find all my Marcuses. I don't find a Rise. So it becomes a bit of a struggle for me. That deck lives and dies by that ShineGreymon nowadays. For me, as long as I find a ShineGreymon, I don't even care. I also play BT17 Rise. I think that card is very underrated in today's game, where we have Digimon stunning abilities like Dianamon running around. We have Bacchus, we have Sarismon. So being able to have a Digimon that says suspend your own tamers and you don't like accidentally activate an effect or something like that, I think it's pretty good. And then you go BT17 Rise, let's say it's one of your Evo Marcuses, you suspend it, you Evo into Shine, play another Marcus if you have it, and then you just continue popping off. You just do a little bit of a safer combo per se compared to obviously the BT21 Rise, but I think it's very good and very needed. It's also a -3K on your opponent, Digimon as well, so that may matter depending on the situation. So couldn't find a Rise early, and then I ended up having to raise just to hope I find one, because I go drop a Marcus, suspend it because it was the Mem Setter Marcus, and then I get a draw out of it from the egg, and I finally do find one, and then it becomes kind of a back and forth. But it wasn't enough because he had all gas at that point, and then he ends up OTKing me, and that was it. And then at that point, these two won. Gino won his 2-0 pretty fast. He would talk about it, and same with Lewis. Lewis won his, I think, 2-0 as well, relatively fast. And that was the last one, and then we just kind of rock, paper, scissors the last one just for the shits and giggles. Ended up winning. So technically, I won. I think, honestly, if we would have played the game 3, I think I would have been in a fine position, because I could kind of tell how his deck was rolling, and the way I was feeling with Shine, I felt I was pretty comfortable, and I think I would have been okay with it with no problem. And that was pretty it. That was it for that one.
So yeah, I played against Gallantmon, which was just Gallant Good Stuff playing the 8001 Gallantmon, which at a lot of points of the game, I went second in both games, and both times I would opened up, rookie Black Automon Tamer. So I was like, okay, I feel good, I can do this. And there were other game, and then the second game I opened up, double mental imaging system training boost. I love that card so much. So he ended up making a Gallantmon game 1 on me 3 times, and just kept blowing up my dudes. I kept triggering Lady Devimon, bringing back my Scopemon. He kept trying to choke me to 1 memory. I'm like, no, I'm gonna get 2 memory, call it a day, tuck Hurricane Screw Shot, and then go to 4 on my turn with what's her name, with Asuna, which is by far one of the best TS tamers, period. That card is insane. I read it more during the tournament, and I was like, this thing can make my tech card Chimeramon become Beelstar just by trashing one of the option cards underneath a different Digimon or from hand. So that Scopemon put in work, but I still wouldn't play more than 3. 3 is fine. 3 is a good number for me. So that game 1, I ended up taking it by going Beelstar, not going into X, and just activating Hurricane Screw Shot, the D-Evo card. I didn't care what card he brought out with it. There was one turn where I just flat out activated the dual card for Beelstar and just Evoing over Gatomon. And of course, he would just go and just blow it up, and I'm like, that's fine. So kept chipping away at his health, and then eventually became raise up rookie, swing for game. Game 2, I don't want to call it a brick, but I opened up a subpar hand. I kept a hand of the training boost going second, training boost, a level 4, the Beelstar dual card, and the 3-cost Asuna. So I just went, okay, 3-cost Asuna, dump Scopemon, draw 2 pass, and then he built up a stack on the side. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. This guy went the Warp Takuya. He would, if I kept putting him to 3, he would just go play Gilmon, play Takado Warp, and I'm like, okay, there goes my dude again. And then I would come back he doesn't have the Growl X underneath it, so I would just blow it up, pass the turn. He would do it again. I would just blow it up, pass the turn, and just keep stalking my guys in the back. Eventually, it went to the Beelstar X play, where I would just go Evo, trash. Evo, Redbind Trigger, trash. When Digivolving Effect, trash 2, blow up another security, swing, trash the other one, hit him for 4, and then Kaiser Leomon for game.
As for me, I played against Vortex. This was my first of 3 Vortexes today, so very fortunate matchups for the deck that plays 16 options, right? Game 1, this dude bricked, and he didn't see a rookie the whole game. And I capitalized it on that very hard. At one point, he ended up slamming a Galemon, and I couldn't remove it the turn he slammed it because I was building something. I may have already swung my rookie and died and didn't have anything in raising at the time, but he ended up doing going into the Grand Gale, playing out a second body, and now he's got 2 bodies on field. And I had Dan and Cannon and a rookie in the back. It doesn't really matter which one. I raise my rookie. I go Sonic Shot. Or no, wait, I went Title Stream, bounce 1 to hand. End of turn, Dan and Cannon, swing, bounce the other 1 to hand. And he just could not recover like the rest of the game. And then he ended up slamming something again for the following turn, and then I did the Vulcanus from 4 OTK and just blew him out of the water. And then I don't even remember game 2, but I will tell you guys this. I was done with both games before Dan or Lewis had even finished their first game.
Yeah.
I just blew this dude out of the water. It was really unfortunate. He never found Vortex, so it was never a problem. In game 2, he ended up building more of a stack. He actually found a rookie in this game. And he ended up going into, I think that's EX7 Vortex, the one where you can suspend one of your own guys to bottom deck something and you get sec +1. But he would just end on that. And then I just slam Vulcanus, D-Digivolve 2, remove both of his bodies that he had on board, and it was GG's. So pretty simple matchup for me for that one. And then we played Team Drew. How did that go?
AKA Dan? The Virtual Boys.
Look, I told Drew before we even play, I was like, look, Drew, we're gonna pack you up like you're nothing. Come on. Like, anytime we play against each other, it's a 2-0 sweep me every time. He was like, nah, chill. And I was like, nah, watch what's gonna happen. And spoiler alert, Drew, if you listen to this, that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I played against their Millie player, and ironically, I did go 2-0 win against him. Millenniumon is actually a hard matchup for Shine for multiple reasons. One, the obvious, they have Moon Millie, and they pop Tamers, and that's no go for me. Like, that's no bueno. We don't want Marcus to get popped. The only time it would be an okay time for it to pop is if I have ShineGreymon. If my ShineGreymon for some reason is alive still, and ShineGreymon is there, he could at least recover my Marcus, and I could potentially get it back depending on the timing of Moon Millie's trash effect and whatnot, depending on how that goes. And so there's that. And then obviously you have Millenniumon himself, right? Promo Millie. If they just drop Promo Millie and you just go, I'm forced to delete it because all my DP negs are mandatory effects. You're gonna pop it, and they're gonna go, all right, we're going bottom deck 3. We're gonna play ShineGreymon. We're gonna play Chimera. We're gonna Digivolve you. We're probably gonna pop you. Even if I don't DNA and like steal turn potentially or something like that, that's still affecting your whole board. And so that's also very problematic. And if they do go into DNA into like BT18 Millie or whatever, then they could just pop Marcus if you're in mid swing, because Marcus is a Digimon at that point, and Millenniumon's pops are all just generic pops. They're not level based or anything like that. So Marcus can get dealt with no problem. So luckily for me, game 1, I was slow at the gates, but he was also slow at the gates. And he didn't see one of the Millies in enough time. And he also did like a small misplay, I think. His Millie list is definitely different from what I played. He was playing like the Ukos, Gazi, and then Gazi X. And then he was playing the Gizmon ATs. So that actually accelerates his game plan quite a bit. Gazi X lets you draw one in the middle 3. So that's pretty strong just for an Evo effect. Then you have Gizmon AT, where he would just like pop one of his rookies. Now, if you have the Demi Merit, it's a trash 1, draw 2. And then AT says draw 2, trash 2. And so you're facilitating your trash pretty quickly, no problem, honestly. But he was missing something. Oh, he was missing like a piece to Digicross to drop Promo Millie. And by the time he was going to do that, so like the turn prior, I just OTK'd him with Shine, because I finally found a ShineGreymon. That was my biggest issue. My 2 biggest issues usually throughout the day was like, can I find champion or can I find a ShineGreymon? And that was usually my 2 issues. And if I found those, I was like Gucci. And so I found the Rise Greymon just in time. I was able to OZK him and call it a day. Game 2, he got into a milli faster by hard dropping. He hard dropped it for 8. And I dealt with it, but then when he made Chimera Machine from the trash, he didn't DNA, and then that was actually like my cue of knowing what's in his hand, which means he did not have BT-18 milli in hand, and he didn't even have another promo milli. So him having that 1 milli gave me enough information to know his following turn he has to try to find another one, and if it's a BT-18 milli, he's gonna be a little behind because he didn't have Insane on board just yet. And with that knowledge, he was able to go into he did something, but like the following turn I was just able to deal with it because he didn't have enough resources, and I just OTK'd him as well. And again, a 2-0 win on that. How about you, Gino?
As for me, I played another Vortextramon. So I don't want to say it was free, but I did 2 of this Vortex. And this is the second Vortex I played for the day. But this guy was super chill. I'd never met him before. His name was Bruno. Shout out to Bruno if you're listening to the pod. You're a cool guy. Game 1 was pretty back and forth. I feel like, but then game 2, I forget. So, spoiler: we played against this team twice, and which Dan mentioned. So, the matches are blending together for me a little bit. But I know in one game he ended up dropping Pomumon to the field, and when I dealt with it, he didn't find another rookie for the whole game. So I just kind of chipped away and did my thing. What's fun about Vulcanus is that it's like that comeback deck, but also in the version that I was running, I was on a playset of level 5s, so 4 level 5s, which is kind of a lot for a Vulcanus build, but it also means that I can just evo up the stack, and if they can't remove Vulcanus, then I can just go to town. If they don't have access to Digivolve, for example, that's very frustrating for them. Vulcanus, typically when Vulcanus is established, you have to remove it 3 times, and that's a kind of a big ask for a 20k body. Vortex Man, he did actually establish a Vortex, but Sonic Shot said send Vortex back to your hand. Sonic Shot suspend something, and then, or like it was already suspended, so like Sonic Shot, very, very good. Title Stream, very, very good in that matchup.
Title Stream, go crazy.
I bumped my Title Stream to 2. I was on 1 Title Stream. My new list is on 2 Title Stream because it's just so good. I love Vulcanus. But yeah, I think I did the whole kill from 2 or 3, or like there's a situation where I played a searcher to find a Vulcanus that I needed, and
Lewis, what are you doing? That's annoying.
Rolling something.
This guy.
I have Vulcanus, or I didn't have Vulcanus. I needed to find him, so I searched him out with a toy Agumon, and then I slammed Vulcanus. I did my checks, and I'm like, I got one more check. What do I do here? And I'm like, oh yeah, Vulcanus just gives this toy Agumon I played Rush, so he's just gonna swing for game with Dan and Cannon. So yeah, it go crazy. And the only reason we're calling you out, Drew, is because you lied to me. You said you were playing Beelstar, okay? We were talking before tournament. I'm like, hey, Drew, what are you playing today? And he's like, Beelstar. I'm like, oh, cool. And then Lewis was like, yeah, he played Fire Rocket in his list. I'm like, how's he playing Fire Rocket and Beelstar? And he's like, oh, because he lied to me. He lied to my face, Drew.
Oh, man. That game...
You deserve something. All the beating that you got. Go ahead, Lewis. Tell us about how you did it.
So virtual bingo boys, aka Drew. We said that we were going to see you guys in the finals, and we did. But this game with Jupiter was definitely eye-opening. So he played Jupiter TS, so AGO and friends, Selectmon and friends. The new AGO Choose decode cards, really, really good for no reason. And then You know, he was suspending my stuff. He was unsuspending himself. He was going into the red yellow one to just blow up my dudes. And I was like, okay, I'm going to find tempo again. And then it dawned on me. I'm like, wait, he's chipping at his own life. If he doesn't see any type of recovery, it's going to be very hard for him. So game one, Drew goes first. He sets up Alekmon and Tamer. I was like, okay, I go, my rookie, I go Sparrowmon into 4-cost. What's it called? Oh my God. Why am I drawing a name on her name? Asuna. And I pass, and then he goes, does the whole combo, takes a life, plays card, Anori, Evo target for AGO choose for free, fries my searcher. And I was like, okay, like, let's see what he does. Just, didn't go into Jupiter game one. He was down to like 2 life. I was able to quickly, dispatch his life, swing. Or no, it was, I go Evo into Lady Debbie, play with the memory a little bit. Remove, what's that card? The Durblitz to de-Evo the AGO choose back into an AGOmon, and then effect to basically play the Beelstar dual card for 3, and then Evo into her for free, and then proceed to just put him a critical. Game 2, he goes into a Jupitermon. It's pretty scary in that game too, because he went Fire Rocket, and then I was like, oh, what the hell? And then he goes Fire Rocket, swings 3 checks with red yellow AGO choose, and I'm like, okay. Plays out Tamer, plays out Image, and I was like, okay, I'm good. I have my searches, I have my Tamer ready. I'm ready to just go all in. He was at 2 life. I'm like, okay, what does Jupiter do? He's like, if I kill it, what happens? I get to crit a life and you crit a life. I'm like, cool. And I look at my life. I'm like, I'm at 0. I don't care anymore. That thing goes, proceed to just do double red bind trigger after going into the dual Beelstar, go into Beelstar X, do the same shenanigans, play red bind trigger, tuck underneath, blow up Jupitermon. He doesn't have any life left. Swing for game. So Drew unfortunately lost both games, even though he went first twice, and that was the first match against Virtual Bingo Boys. And
even though he went first twice.
Right, I was about to say that. Damn, Drew, you went first and you still got cooked. Damn, boy, that's crazy.
And our next team is actually ones that are from the Bronx, which are my friends.
Cooked them up and packed them up away too.
Team Midgard.
Yes, sir.
So you started off, Dan.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who I played against. I don't remember who I played against.
I believe you played against Puppets.
Oh yeah, this was the Puppets match.
It was Puppets. That was the Puppet match. Yep. Shout out to him. He's a cool dude. I met him at Questionable Plays. He was playing Puppets, and I'm over here on Shine. And so game 1 he goes into a central stack, but it wasn't like your usual stack, because it was just ended up being just a central with the black puppet that gives the DP neg protection and the digital protection. I don't remember what it's called right
name.
Now. Yeah. You know the name of it.
Say it again.
The black level 4 puppet.
Namakemon.
Yeah, Namakemon. He gets out Namakemon in a pup in a what's it called? A token, and doesn't kill me. He puts me down to like 1 or 2 or something like that. And might not even been, because I think he said he was afraid of swinging because he didn't want to give me as much resources. So I think he might have left me like 3 or something like that. And because he knew he couldn't OTK me that turn, he bottom deck his Ragnar, the Ragnar Lordmon, all 3 games. Kind of funny. And then I know how to deal with the deck because I played a lot of it as Millenniumon, so I understand. Yeah, sure, you got DP neg protection. Great. We'll just kill everything else with DP neg, and then we'll just pop the central stack. And so I proceed to do that. And then I put him, like how Lou say, I put him in critical. He can't really respawn. I couldn't kill him, but I basically killed him because next turn I just finish him off and call it a day. Game 2, I bricked out and he saw God and I lost. And then game 3, a bit back and forth, but he was missing something. I don't remember right now. And I get to the point of I put him down to 3 security. I think I went to a room mode or something like that. And then he dealt with it or something. I know I didn't kill him with room mode. No, it wasn't room mode. That one wasn't a room mode. I went into end of turn burst mode. Not a great way to use the burst mode, but like that was the only play for me to deal with whatever it was he had on board. But then he ended up coming back and DP negative or something like that. And so my turn ended up being, because I did it to him as well, I raised my rookie. I asked if he has any blockers. He goes, nah, nothing's a blocker. So I go Evo to a champion for some reason. I don't remember what it was. I think I was just trying to draw into a rise. I draw into the rise. I swing with you, Gray, and then I chop rise Greymon, make Marcus a Digimon, deal lines, 2 checks, and then swing for game or something like that. And ended up winning in that fashion. That was my first technically 2-1 round. And then these two also... Oh, I think Gino. Is that the first loss, Gino, on that one?
No, so this one I ended up playing against Millenniumon. And I was nervous because Millenniumon I think is the best deck in the game or very, very close to it. So I played against Dan a whole bunch. I know what the deck does, and I know that if I don't get there fast enough, I've just lost, right? Because once Millenniumon sets up enough pieces, it's just kind of game over. So with Vulcanus, the idea is hopefully he decides to end on a Millenniumon to sort of block me out of game, and then I can just drop Vulcanus, de-digivolve, and do whatever I want, right? Unfortunately, game 1, I was very slow, and he established everything. The big problem with this matchup is that Danon Cannon is integral to my game plan. And with Moon Millenniumon, if he gets rid of Danon Cannon, that becomes a problem. Also, I just wasn't thinking about it, and I had trashed a Danon Cannon earlier to get a draw. So I really should have realistically kept one in my hand, expecting or anticipating the Moon play, but I didn't. And a lot of the time, too, is early game is a great time to play Danon Cannon. You play it real early, you give them 3, you don't care, because then you tap it, you get a in-between theater off or a Divine Arms Omega, and you get draw, you get search, it's fine. Late game, you really need Danon Cannon, you cooked. You need to get that Danon Cannon out pretty early. So once Danon Cannon is removed, boy, I really hope he puts me to at least 4 so I can get it out and keep turn and then pop off, right? And that's not really what happened. So game 1, I ended up losing, but game 2, basically what I said happened. He didn't get his full combo off, and I was able to just bully him out of the game, and I finished him fast enough before he could start looping me. And at that point, Lewis and Dan had already won. And these guys, they're all really good at the game. So I'm like, I expect to see these guys later, and I didn't get to do my Vulcanus cheeky stuff. So my brain is like, if we see these guys again, I don't want them to know what I can do with this. And I think he was feeling the same thing, because he was like, we were 1-1, and I was like, see you in top 8, and he's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right. So we just cut it there. So I was like, I'm gonna do a little bit of poker here and hide what I can do, And if we meet him again, then I'll go full power on him, right?
Yeah.
So Millenniumon is a very volatile matchup into almost any deck, it feels like. So if it's like, all right, I'll probably see these guys again, and we'll deal with that problem when we get to it. These guys already secured the win for me, so I don't need to go hard on this last game. And Millenniumon matches tend to go long anyway, because they take 10-minute turns while they do their loop. So
whoa.
It's a Yu-Gi-Oh deck disguised as a Digimon deck, all right?
Basically.
It's Tearlaments.
So
it's a Tearlament deck.
Listen, the most I know about Yu-Gi-Oh is that I got the little Summon Skull tin. It was pretty cool. I love my boy Summon Skull.
Oh, the throwback.
Yeah,
the best 2500 beat stick in the game. Sack 1 card, Swing, I'm a vanilla baby.
Better than Dark Magician, but Yugi never learned, you know?
No, he just still sacrificed 2 creatures just to play Dark Magic Attack for the fans.
Ironically,
for the fans.
if you remember, because I just recently watched Battle City, he special summoned Dark Magician quite a bit, so he knew I had to get around tributing 2 monsters.
Magician Circle shenanigans. I think that's one. And then we got that later in the game.
Yeah.
But that was basically my match, so that's all I have to say about Millenniumon.
So just to give a quick shout out, this is Team Midgard. They're actually my friends from the Bronx. So Dan played against Shaq, who was our resident purple hybrid player, then became our puppet player, and he's messing around a bunch of TS decks. Gino played against my goat Kevin Sogo. He's been trying to make Millenniumon work as long as Dan has, in terms of since the deck's inception. He's been in love with that deck. We've Reese's Pieces, picking up all the max ready pieces here and there. He's also a big Machine Dramon player. He loves that deck too. And then I played against Ahmed, who is he's our hidden 7th child of the star for our locals. I'm bringing up random Mario reference here. If you played Super Mario RPG, you know what I'm talking about. So he played Jupitermon. I paired into him.
No. I'm Gino.
Okay, you could be. You're Gino. Don't worry. You're always Gino, and Gino again. So I played against Ahmed. He was playing Jupitermon TS, but instead of Drew's build, he was actually playing the green Agio Chusmon that can stun, can suspend my Digimon. He could stun a Tamer, which was kind of annoying. And it has Vortex, and he showed me what Vortex did. Unfortunately, with the Jupitermon deck, you're putting yourself too close to critical, and Beostar can just come out of nowhere, crit 3 life, and then just go straight into game. So game 1, he won the die roll, went first. He set up very well. Saw his Inori, saw his Agiomons, but I just saw a better line. The amount of times that I played back Scopemon off of Asuna was amazing, but also he was intentionally putting me at 5+ memory, so I couldn't really capitalize off of that Asuna. So she eventually became future fodder for one of my favorite plays, which was in game 2. But in game 1, I ended up just going straight up the line, chipping at life. He chipped his own life. I really tried not touching his life until I saw Beelstar, dual card, Redbind trigger, and even Durblitz into Hurricane Screwshot, because that helped a lot with clearing the small guys like the level 3s, the 4s, and definitely not cracking the 5s if it was a decode target. So I was really digging into the D-Evos, which was great. And I played the one of Satellamon, which helped me with de-evoing his Jupitermon back down into an Agiomon by just tucking Dare Blitz, getting the protection, and then trashing Dare Blitz to de-evo with the effect, and then Dare Blitz, de-evo with the effect, and then became perfect target for Hurricane Screwshot. Game 1 was mine. Game 2, a lot more back and forth. We put ourselves both at 0 life. He made sure I didn't have a Digimon on board. And then I went Asuna, play Scopemon. No, sorry. Asuna play Black Gato play 3-cost Asuna back on the board. Draw 2. Drew into my one of technology, which is Chimeramon. If I can spit out level 4s for free and I can DNA into something, I will do it, which ended up happening. I played out. I hard played a Scopemon, gained the memory back from his effect, DNA'd, swung, and that was game for that one. And it was a very good game. Jupitermon is very scary, but against a deck that can literally capitalize off of chipping life and you're chipping your own life, it pretty much just solidifies that if I just draw the better hand, then I can just come back on it. But Ahmed, that was a great game. You showed me what fundamentally a Jupitermon deck can do when it pops off.
Damn, we are just he said Drew down every time.
Exactly.
Nah, Drew just some craziness to me in Top Cut. I'm gonna give him that, but that's for later. Next we played against.
Next we played the top.
Next was Top Cut.
So we were undefeated in Swiss.
Undefeated. Yeah.
And then we played against Team D4C. Dan, do you remember your match for that one?
I do because I helped Dan through it after I beat mine.
So what did I play against? I don't remember.
Then you played against Beat Break.
Oh, was that was them? I thought we played someone else after.
Oh no, wait, sorry. No, that was next round.
Yeah,
next
that was
round
Medusa.
Yeah.
I remember. I played Medusa. I played against
That's
Medusa.
right. Yeah.
I don't remember their team name.
D4C.
That was it. Oh, okay. Never mind.
They were 8th in seed.
Yeah, I know they are. Because we were first, obviously. So I played Medusa. I ended up winning that one 2-1 as well. And game 1, he got into Styraco, I think it was. Or he got into BT21 Medusa. That's what that was. And then gave me double token, bottom deck things. In that deck, playing Shine, I don't care about you bottom decking my Digimon. It's not like Millenniumon where I care about it and I gotta play around that. So he did that, made some tokens, but he's on the Medusa that doesn't have protection, so I don't really care. He just stays on that because he doesn't even go to Styraco, I believe. So I just go up the chain, I go burst mode, I neg him to death, and I just call it a day and got game. Game 2, slow out the gates, but he had all gas and he OTK'd me. Game 3, maybe it wasn't game 3. Was that game 3 in that one? I feel like we ended that one fast. No, hold on.
I just remember this was. I think this was the game where he ended up going Styraco on top of Lamia.
Yeah,
and then
that's what it was.
You removed it, and he couldn't really recover from there. I remember the end board state. He had double Lamia because he had nothing else to go into.
He swung in security and he hit your burst, and he hit your rune mode. He hit your rune mode out of life.
I remember that.
Purged. And he armor
so I don't
purged.
remember if there was a game 2. Maybe it wasn't game 3. Maybe that was just game 2. I know I was slow out the gates. I don't know why. The 3v3s. I just don't remember my games as much as like I normally do when it's just a 1v1. I guess because like I'm also like watching, paying attention. I'm like once I'm done with mine, I'm like off paying attention to see what's going on with y'all and whatnot. Because even like the other past 3 videos, I have terrible memory on them. So I think it might have been just a 2-0 win because he did game 2. He goes Styraco, and then crashed into a room on the security. He was so like,
funny. "You're one of ruin mode."
Yeah, he's like, that's the only thing I was afraid of. I was like,
me too.
Yeah. And so he did go into double Lamia, and then I like dealt with it, and then and now it's game. So that was a 2-0 win because I was done before both of y'all. For that, I do remember that one. No, I wasn't done before you.
No, because that was the one that I got packed up.
Oh no,
that was my loss of the day.
Oh yes, it was. Yeah. No, so wait, no, because you did get packed up, but I don't think mine was 2-0 then. Was it 2-1?
It might have been 2-1 then because I got packed up and I watched you guys finish. Well, finish your match.
No, yeah. So I think it was all right. Yeah. All right, I'm remembering now because of that. Yeah. So game 2 was he did pack me up because he got into Styraco. I just couldn't deal with it. Game 3, he goes and does that, runs to the Styraco from the Lamia, and then crashes into room mode, and then I just pack him up after that. That's what it was. Yeah.
So as I'll jump in just because we already spoiled my result. I got destroyed. I played against Puppets, and he had the gas. Game 1, he goes Shumon in the back, Emblem.
Oh no!
And then I set up, and my hand's not looking great. I don't have much going on. He goes play Shumon next turn to get a 3 search, and then I couldn't remove it. I had nothing there. I had no way to remove it. There was nothing in my hand that could remove it. So I left that Shumon on board. So it's a very easy OTK line for Central because they do the 4. The rookie that you left does the 5th, and then the overclock finishes it. So I was just kind of, it's like, I couldn't really do anything. We'll see what happens. And then game 2, he opens Reduction Shumon double Emblem. I'm just like, cool, man. Drops Ragnalord, finishes the game. Like,
whoa,
cool, man. for a deck that runs 16 options, you think at least one of them would help me out here, right?
Like, no,
because there was no
not. Because there's no Crimson Blaze in the deck.
One of exactly. It's not a random one of that always pops up with security somehow.
Right? Yeah.
Here's my Crimson Blaze.
Unreal. I'll get my one of Crimson Blaze out of security more often than I'll get my options from freaking Vulcanus. Or like it'll be Sonic Shot, which by the way, Sonic Shot, very good, but all it does is stun something during their next unsuspend phase. So if they have another way to unsuspend or something, like it's not doing anything out of security except locking a body, maybe. I do like
stuff overclock,
but that's like the only thing that that ever came out of security for me on the day for some reason. That's why we pumped it up. I'm on 18 options now, but he just packed me up really, really quick. If I don't have security options, I'm kind of cooked. Again, Vulcanus is really that crackback style of deck. So if I don't get a turn 2 crackback, it's pretty difficult. So
yeah. I'm also going to give a quick shout out to this team D4C. You guys played your heart out. You guys got 8th place into Top Cut. I overheard you guys really trying to get your morale up for these matches. So you guys did really great. I played against Imperial and against Beelstar, which doesn't really care much about partition because I have 5 different ways to de-evo it. It wasn't really that scary, but he opened up. I won first game 1. I set up Sparrowmon in the back. I saw 4 Sparrowmons that game, and I showed Dan my hand. I'm like, oh, look at all these rookies in my hand that don't search. And I just went Sparrowmon. I Evo. I picked up an option card. I'm like, great, this is going to help me afterwards.
You had, was it 3 or 4 Sparrowmon in your hand?
It was 3 Sparrowmons, and then I drew the 4th. And I was like, fails. I'm like, oh no, what's happening? And I just go Asuna. No, I went mental. I went image, searched, grabbed Asuna. I'm like, okay, now I unbricked my hand. Good. And then he goes, plays Dual Tamer, puts me to 2. I'm like, okay, I'm like, activate dual card, pick up Beelstar, set up Asuna, trash one of the Sparrowmons, drew into, 2 more options. I was like, okay, I'm not seeing my dual card anytime soon. I thought I was going to get packed up. He comes at the gates, swings, goes into the Armor Purge, Lydramon, swings at my security, plays out another Asuna for me. I'm like, okay, now I'm going to start cooking. And then he goes DNAs, hits into my second Asuna in life. And I was like, okay, I feel good right now. And then it proceeds into typical OTK Beelstar plays. I go Lady Debbie. No, sorry. I go Sparrowmon, raise, tuck option underneath, play out, Evo for free into Scotemon, gain another memory back because that egg is so cracked for Beelstar. If you tuck an option underneath, I get to Evo for reduced cost of 2. Good stuff, Bandai. Very cool. So I go into my level 4, go into Lady Debbie. Lady Debbie puts Dare Blitz underneath, trash Dare Blitz, de-evo the Pyldramon. It becomes a level 4 again. And I didn't have a play afterwards because I didn't see the Beelstar dual card. So I just go activate her effect, play Hurricane Screw Shot for 3, tuck it back underneath, pass. He sets up again in the back and then plays Progenitor to put me to 1. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go gain 2 memory off the 2 Asunas, make another line. Okay, cool. I saw my card. Let me go activate Asuna, trash Hurricane Screw Shot, gain the memory, Evo for 3 into Beelstar. Evo for 3 into Beelstar, and then go up my regular lines of play. OTK'd. Game 2, similar effect, except he started again. Played out this time I just drew level 4s off the mull and then 1 mental image on the 6th draw, and I was like, okay, now I can try to play a little bit. Puts me to 4. I was like, okay, let me see if I could draw a rookie. Literally a turn and a half not drawing rookies. I didn't see it until afterwards when I resolved an Asuna. I'm like, oh good, I found a rookie. Now I can actually play. Gazimon the Goat. Proceeds to chip at my life. Then eventually I go, to Telemon, de-evo the Pyldramon again, so it doesn't partition out. And then I just go and I just swing for the gates. It was 2-0, but that Imperial Dramon still has legs. It's just unfortunate that he ran into a deck that can on-demand de-evo whenever it wants to, just by tucking in Dare Blitz.
Yeah, it was really funny. Prior to us playing this team, we hadn't played them yet, and so we were kind of scoping it out. And me and Lewis, so I don't know if we mentioned this, but Dan was B, I was A, and Lewis was C. And Lewis was like, "They got an Imperial Dramon. I don't know if it's A or C, but either way, we have a good matchup into it because we both have D-Evo like on command."
We had D-Evo, yeah.
So we were both like kind of hoping that we had the Imperial matchup.
Imperial Dramon player, yeah. Because Imperial Dramon against anything D-Evo and just, full field wipes feels good. And if I get D-Evo and Hurricane Screw Shot and I just get 2 bodies off the board, whether it's a rookie in a level 4, I'm A-okay. He didn't get to make a fighter mode at all. He hard played a fighter mode in game 1 to basically just say that the game was over.
Yikes!
But fighter mode by itself isn't scary. He's like, oh, if you Evo by effect, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, all right, cool. Activate Beelstar, blow it up. Now my play.
Yep.
And then next, we're up against Team Want It More.
Oh, did Gino even talk about his matchup?
Yeah, I did. That's the one I got packed up.
That was fast. My fault.
Yeah,
I got cooked, man. It was fast. I was angry, man. There was no interaction. I didn't do anything.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Want It More. This next team was a pretty interesting matchup because I played against a weird deck, but I'm gonna let Dan start it off again.
What weird deck did you play against?
Wasn't that I played against Excel. I played against Excel.
Yeah. Oh yes. You played Excel. Yeah.
I played against Excel with the promo Chaosmon, and oh my god, does that deck not give 2 flying shits how much memory it gives me? If they drop that big guy out. This man said, I'm going to Evo in the back, and I'm going to play my Sepia memory boost. I'm like, okay, he's playing Excel. Cool. I go, do. Play out level 4, get my Tamer out, pass. And the moment I said pass, I felt like something terrible was about to happen because this man was brimming with confidence. He goes, raise rookie, Evo for free, tuck the Chaos Singularity option card. And I'm like, yo, what the hell does that thing do?
Early?
Because he had the whole line of play. He
as
went
long as
into
you have a 5, you're good. You just
and
go.
then he cracks Sepia, goes into the Tank Dramon, and then he sees the other level 5 come out, the other Tank Dramon come out. He played it for a reduced cost, and then he goes, all right, I see it. I evolve into Bancho Leomon, and then he goes, Tank Dramon sees it, Evo's into Dark Dramon, and I'm like, I'm about to get fried right now. I'm about to get obliterated. I'm like, he doesn't care that ace came out. He said, Chaosmon. I'm like, what does that do? He's like, it's immune to everything. I'm like,
yep.
Everything? He's like, everything. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, cool. And here's one of the more famous Lewis plays, not reading every card underneath the stack.
That Singularity gonna get you.
That Singularity got me because he goes, swings 2 checks, hits an option, does nothing, hits another option, does nothing. I'm like, okay, my turn. Let me make Beelstar. Let me just start chipping away at his life. And then he goes, Chaos Singularity. I'm like, it do what now? It do what now? Negative 30k. And then you get the partition out. I'm like, no way. So the Dark Dramon came out, the Bancho Leomon came out. He goes Dark Dramon first, D-Evo 2, Bancho Leomon, fry the card. And I'm like, okay. Like, I guess I just die now. Swing, DNA, does it again. I'm like, okay, let's go to game 2. Game 2, I managed to get the Beelstar XOTK out. Felt good. I got that game. And then game 3, he does a whole other, the same plays, but he was going a little bit more wider because I guess he didn't see the Chaos Singularity. We figured out afterwards that when he does the search Lyle, I think it was the Command Dramon to search the top 3 cards to play and Excel out. I think it's the Tank Dramon. He goes, does it, reveals double Chaos Singularity, promo Chaosmon. I'm like, okay, good. I'm not getting fried right now. So another turn, boom, 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 blow up some cards, goes into the next. He does the same thing, except he hard plays Bancho Leomon. Tank Dramon sees it, Evo's into Varudamon, swings at my security again. I'm like, okay, I'm not seeing pieces. I see Scopemon, so I kept cycling with the memory he was giving me. I was able to use the Asunas to play out the Scopemons to gain a memory, go to 3 and try to do plays. Unfortunately, didn't see any of my my pieces out, so I was like, okay, like this is just bad. So it's just a chipping game, but he has blockers out. He has things that when they die, they neg 3k DP. I was like, okay, I don't want to deal with that. And then eventually he goes and makes a Chaosmon, chips my life, doesn't have Chaos Singularity underneath it. Oh, let me preface this by saying this. I ask him, hey, what does Chaos Singularity do if I hit life? He's like, oh, you gain a memory add it to hand. Lo and behold, he does it. He does it. And I'm like, this is some shit. So when he added the Chaos Singularity underneath one of his Digimon, he didn't have any of the DNA plays. So I was able to out the card first. So now moving back forward. He goes, makes the Chaosmon, passes turn. He goes, swings again. I'm like, what else does it have? And he's like, oh, it has collision. I'm like, okay. So he negs my small body, my Scopemon, and then collision straight into my Beelstar. Passes turn. That thing is now live to get hit. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I need to find a way to de-evo this thing twice and then be able to fry it or make him lose the blocker. So I do the raise up, Sparrowmon, tuck, evo into Scopemon because I tuck something underneath, go into Lady Debbie, trash Dare Blitz, de-evo the promo Chaosmon once. It's like, okay, good. Then I go into Beelstar, activate Red Bind Trigger, trash the card. From there, I go Beelstar X to activate another Red Bind Trigger, tuck underneath. And I'm like, okay, now I got to figure out a way to out this other card. So I go Scopemon from hand because I had enough memory, tuck the Dare Blitz, activate Asuna, whiff on the effect because it's you may Digivolve, de-evo it again, swing with Beelstar, trash the bottom two, pop the card, gain the overflow, and then just go into I think it was Chimeramon for game afterwards because I had just enough memory to play out another level 4. So that game was kind of scary. Chaosmon, if you're not prepared for it, it's going to catch you with your pants down and really enunciate every syllable of its name. So bad.
Oh yeah, because
really,
I told Gino like early when we were thinking about decks, like once like the set dropped and we were like testing things out, I was like, yo, you might catch people with Excel. I don't think people are going like know what to do with Excel.
I didn't.
And so, you know, case in point, right? Like he almost got cooked by it. But I think it's so piece reliant and you gotta see all these pieces. And if someone knows how to deal with it, they can. So that's all like the downside about Excel. I feel like they're still Tangjamon and at least Tangjamon and the new Command-Jamon, I think it is, fantastic pieces. The Seals-Jamon, when it comes to Excel, it's like whatever. But
yeah, that Seals-Jamon came out a couple of times though, and that thing was also kind of scary.
Yeah, the Seals-Jamon feels like a little bit of a trap because Excel, I played the very first our pre-release event for this set. And the Seals-Jamon feels a little bit like a trap. When it comes up, great, but a lot of the time it's like, man, I sure wish I had another barrier inherit or a piercing inherit. So I don't know. But yeah, I tried to get Excel to work and it just did not function for me the way I wanted it to. And I'm like, all right, I don't think it's real still. I think it's fun. I think it's a very fun deck. And I think you can catch people with their pants down if they don't read what Singularity of Chaos does. Lewis. But
very good counter into Beelstar, I want to say. It's just unfortunate that he missed. If he was able to DNA earlier, it definitely would have been his game and we would have gotten knocked out.
I think me and Dan both won, so I think we were fine.
Yeah. All three of us.
Oh yeah. You guys won. I forgot. Yeah. I was playing the game 3 out.
Yeah. I won. I played against TS Angels. So the Shakomon loop Junomon on top end and or Minervamon, and I was honestly pretty scared of it because we all know that thing can win on turn 2 with the perfect everything. So I was like, basically both games he went Yellow Vaccine Patamon and back, and then Asuna pitch Patamon, and I'm like, hell. Like this is the perfect setup. If he has it, I just lose, right? So both games he did this, and both games I go rookie and back, play Dan and Cannon play option or play option, whatever I did. And then I go, let's see if he got the turn 2. And he never did. Aww. So I think game 1, he ended up staying in the back, but doing Asuna anyway to get the search off of the Patamon and start getting towards his pieces. And I ended up getting the big Vulcanusmon thing. I cleared him out pretty quickly. And that's the problem that any variant of Yellow Vaccine has ever had, where if you're able to push a lot of damage really quickly, that's a ton of resources they now lose. So that's the move anytime you play against Yellow anything. And in my brain, I was like trying to think like, how do I give him more than 5 so he can't Asuna and has to figure out other things? And what ended up happening in game 2 was I'm looking at my hand, I'm like counting my cards, all my play costs, all my plays. I'm like, I have no way to put him to 5. Like there's no card in my hand that will put him to 5. No combination of cards in my hand that will put him to 5. And I'm just like, if he's got it, right? He ended up doing a whole big pop off, but I still ended up winning because he was 1 damage short. He went into Magna X in that game. To get extra damage off. I guess you run Pegasus so you can get the protection, but that stack didn't have it. So it was more like he's just pushing damage. He ended up doing all 5 of my damage, but he couldn't close me out. And he had like 1 or 2 security left. I raise up my rookie and I go like, any blockers? Because he had the Magna, and I was like, does anything happen on your turn on my turn basically? But the Magna wasn't immune because he didn't have Pegasus under. So he goes, the only thing I have here is that you're going to lose 8,000 if you check a security, because he had Magna Anja. He had a Magna Anja inherit underneath one of his other things that he DNA'd or something. I think he ended up going into Chimera in that game, and he tucked the Magna Anja so he could have another 4K. And then he had the Shakomon. And I go, Vulcanus from the top rope. Digivolve everything too. That is no longer in effect. Because
him and his random bullshit just going Iron Slash.
yeah, but then Vulcanusmon just cleared him out and finished it. So it was actually a pretty quick game, and I had actually a lot of fun this round helping Dan win his deep beat break matchup, because Dan was like, this deck better than me. Like, do I push here? Like, do I just go into ruin mode and lock them out, or? But Dan can talk about that.
Yeah. Ironically, like, I still won now 2-0, but game 2 was where it was a grind fest. Game 1, like we mentioned, playing against Beat Break. He was doing his things, but he got to the point where he dropped a champion and a rookie. And I just look at the board. I look at my hand. My hand wasn't conducive to like go full combo or anything like that. I think I was chilling on like a Geo Gray in the back, the one that lets you Evo for free if you drop a Marcus. And I'm pretty sure it was like that with a DigiGuard chilling on board, but I had no rise at that point. And so I just look at it. I go, all right, I'm gonna play Geo Gray Sword for 5. Cleared his champion and his rookie, and if he has more setup, and F it, because like I'd rather deal with those 2 bodies as I'm bored than let that like get out of hand. And he goes, Monarch Liza for 1, and then like popped off. It goes into the level 6, and then who knows, he might have like a habit carry as well for the other stack or something. Like things could get crazy.
Yeah, definitely the right play to clear board here. It ended up biting Dan a little though, because he didn't find another shine forever.
Yeah, so the downside on that, I couldn't find another shine, but I did eventually find the rise. So it was basically like Rise Greymon beatdown for a split second. And I did a lot of damage to him at that point. And then after that, he comes back. I think it just didn't matter because I had all rise. I ended up having like a point where like I had no rise in the beginning, and I just kept drawing on the rise, and it was all like the BT21. So after a while, I just was legit just like hard drop rise, market swing, and I ran through his blocker because he had the mega at that point or whatever, and I just kept getting through it. And eventually I drew into the shine. I dealt with it, neg 15 until the end of his turn. And then it was just like, all right, if you have the answer right here, you just probably win. If not, I win the following turn. So that's basically what it was. And then game 2 happened. Game 2 was such a grind in comparison. this is what Gino was mentioning before. I get to the point where I'm building a stack. I'm going end of turn effects to swing, and the response was either don't go into room mode or go into room mode and attempt to lock him out. And so I asked him like, "Yo, should I go into room mode here or not? Because if I go, I could go room mode. And I could do neg 5, or I could even do it the neg 10 and just have him nothing. But I lose a body, I recover." And he was like, because he like I said, he knows the deck much more, and the way his setup was, the max he wasn't dealing with the shine per se, and I was living regardless. And or he was like, he would probably deal with the shine, but like you're not dead though, so you might want to save the room just in case. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll do it. So I just go for like a Marcus swing, and the Marcus lived, and for that Marcus lived, I should say, is important down the line when we talk about Marcus living.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that following turn, he does like a bit of a pop off. He deals with room mode. He puts me down to 1 or 0 security. I don't remember at this point. Not the room mode. He deals with the shine. I thought he might have not, because it's the way he was trying to get there. He didn't have everything to deal with it at that moment, and he finally drew into the level 6, I think it was.
He ended up doing Murasame for 7, and then using Murasame's effect to go into Habakiri to melt your board.
Oh, that's what it was, Habakiri, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but he ended up like within that same thing. He ended up putting me down to like 1 or 2 security as well, I think it was.
You were sitting at like 1 for a lot of that game.
Yeah, surprisingly. And I did like no damage, or like I did 1 or 2 chip damage or something like that, because I was like, I was not necessarily afraid, but I was kind of afraid to do anything because I didn't want to give him resources or steal a turn or something like that. In the following turn, I deal with it in a weird way, because I ended up getting I have to swing with the mem setter markers at some point. I think that was at that turn, and so I'm doing like combos. I had a Greymon in the back, or Agumon gets to the Geo Gray, Evo to Rise. I swing with the Marcus. I do my my greedy play of not doing the Alliance, because then I could potentially swing with 2 checks with a Shine Burst Mode or something like that. And so this instant, it mattered. I swing in security. It doesn't die. I thought it didn't die for a sec because I hit something, and ended up dying, and then it went into security, and that actually mattered because me having the 1 extra security, he couldn't clear it out. He couldn't clear out 2 checks and then go for game. He was able to do like 1 check and go for game or something like that, or something weird like that. And so that happened, and then I get into Shine, I think it was, and I chill on that. And then he comes back, doesn't deal with Shine because he couldn't deal with Shine, but he was able to deal with my security, puts me to 0 security. And then on my final turn, I think I ended up killing him at that point. And then I go into burst mode, and I asked Gino, I was like, all right. No, yeah, you know what? I don't think I even dealt security, because I dealt all the security at that point. I put him 4. I think that's what it was.
You may have done like 1 check at some point.
Oh, he recovered because of Habakiri.
Because of Habakiri
recovery. Yes, that's what it was. So like he was chilling at like 4 or 5, and at that following turn, I show Gino, I'm like, yo, I can OTK this turn, but I gotta go to 0 because I have to eat hard Evo my Agu to a Geo Gray, and then I make a Marcus into a Digimon, and I swing with that because I had 3, so I make Marcus to a Digimon, Evo go to 2, swing with that. I'm at 0. I swing Evo to Rise. Rise makes another Digimon into a Digimon, and then that Digimon that Marcus will swing, make Rise go into a Shine, and I go burst mode. He was like, hear me out. Before you do that, just remember this: if you hit into a tamer, you lose turn. I was like, what do you mean I lose turn? He was like,
yeah,
it's all play, you gain the memory.
Yeah. You just lose.
I was like, ooh, you're right.
But count that man's remember. Trash. How many E-pulses are in that trash right now?
He had like 2 E-pulses in trash, but he also had like 3 cards in deck left. So
yeah,
I'm like,
his deck was real tiny.
I was like, the chance of him seeing that was probably not in security because he had a crap ton of cards under his tamers as well, face down.
Oh,
and so I'm like, I gotta go for game.
On deck.
I'm like, I gotta go for game. This is my only way for go to game. And so I go make Marcus a Digimon for 1. I Evo into ShineGreymon. I swing security. I Evo into Rise. Rise makes another Marcus into a Digimon. That 1 check doesn't hit anything. I think it might even died if I'm not mistaken because that was 3K. I recover back or something like that. I swing with my other Marcus. I Evo into Shine, play another Marcus. And at this point, I have double Mem Setter Marcuses. And that Marcus didn't swing into anything. And I'm like, all right, I just win here. And then he's like, what do you mean? I go in burst mode. All right, cool. I bounce back, play. I swing with my Mem Setter Marcus because I gain a memory every time. 1 check, 12K, so nothing. Safe. Gain another memory. Swing with the other one. He had nothing. I gained another memory. So at this point, I'm at +2, and I just keep swinging out and go for game. That game was a lot more grindier than I thought it was going to be. We ended up being the last. No, we didn't. We were second to last because Lewis was game 3 at that point. But
yeah, but before that,
we packed it up. Yeah, I was like, we packed it up. I knew Gino won already, and I go to Lewis. I was like, Lucas, you got to win now.
And I was just I am locked in. I was locked in.
Yeah,
like, exactly. Dan, don't do that to him.
Any eye-opening match from that day was definitely the Chaosmon because I was like, there's no way this thing just completely locked me out of playing my game. That was so sick. I wish I saw Rune Mode that game.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it was a pretty good back and forth. It was a pretty good game. Can't lie. It was fun, regardless of the outcome of that game. At least, if we went to the game 3, I'm confident I probably would have gotten it as well. But luckily, we didn't have to, and 2-0 call it a day. And then we go into the final round, and we see Drew's team. I told him, I was like,
Drew again. Drew part 2. Electric.
Yes, Drew
Boogaloo.
part 2. I told him, I was like, you don't want the smoke again. You're going to get cooked up, and you're going to get sent packing. He was like, nah, we got this. I was like, nah, dog, I'm telling you, we're going to cook you again. I don't even need to win. I already know these matchups. It's over. So we go sit down, play. Game 1 again. I'm playing against Millie again, and Gino and Lewis are playing the same exact matchup as they played the previous in round 3 of Swiss. And so Millie, I kind of knew, and he just came off of a grind fest, and I was hoping he was burnt out from that. But Psych, he saw, not gonna say he saw God, but he saw everything he needs to see early, and I just could not deal with Millenniumon at all. He popped my Marcuses. He popped. He would block it. He would, DNA on my turn, steal my turn, and then block, and then I'm just nothing. I got packed up pretty quickly, honestly, game 1, and then game 2 was a little bit easier. Unfortunately, he still had it, and I just could not recover. Did not see a Rise Greymon in time to make the comeback, and so I got cooked up 2-0. But I was confident because this was my first one. I told Lewis, I was like, Lewis, whenever I have a bad game, I need you to not have it. We need to have alternate bad games just in case. And luckily, he pulled through, and he played against Jupiter, and Gino played against Vortex, as they'll talk about in a second, and they clapped up their own matchups.
Yeah. I played against Drew again. It was sort of the same matchup as last time, where this time I won first, so I was able to set up pretty nicely. I had Gazimon in the back, Image to put him to 2. He goes typical, rookie in the back, going to AGO, set up a Nori. And, it started going up just like regular lines of play. I ended up taking the game. He kept critting his life. I kept thinking after my match with Ahmed and Team Midgard that he was playing the green AGO Chusmon. So I was so worried every single time he goes tap and Nori. I'm like, he's going to stun my tamer and I'm going to hate my life. Nope. Turned out Drew did not play the green AGO Chus. So I felt a lot more confident, especially in the final match. Because I didn't have to worry about my tamers getting suspended and not doing anything with them. But that game, it grinded it out all the way to the end. He was digging for something, and I think it was Marukimon, because I was at 0 life.
Maruki
and I'm
and Jupiter?
I mean, you could just play some one-up
TS.
TS.
I mean, slam it and go.
Yeah.
But in this game, he had swung into security. His Agio-Choose died, playing out the Agiomon. Goes into Agio-Choose again for free off of the Inori somehow he got to do that, and then went into Agio-Choose, activated double fire rocket, evoed into Jupitermon, recovered, and he's like, swing 2 checks. I'm like, does Jupiter get rush? And he's like, no way. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
He didn't evo over a promo Agio-Choose. That's what it was.
No, he didn't have a Digimon with rush and no read and no way for rush. So I was like, I'm gonna capitalize now. So took that game. Second game took a little bit longer, but it was a little crazy because he put me to near critical. So I was at 2 life. I had already, cycled asanas to play out, Scopemons to do optimal plays to gain memory back and just do my plays. He goes Homeros activate, went to Drawing Effect, recovered 2, and I was like, okay. And at this point, I was like, I have to win this game because I will lose the rest of my life. And he had a card in Raising. He had 2 cards on board. I go draw, Red Binding Trigger. I do my line. I go Sparrowmon, tuck Hurricane Screw Shot, gain the draw the card, Evo into Scopemon, tuck Hurricane Screw Shot, gain the memory, and I go, okay, so I need Beelstar X, 1 more Red Bind Trigger to go into game. I was like, all right, let's see if I find it. Go Evo into Lady Devimon off of the what's it called? The Asana, trash Hurricane Screw Shot, go to 4 memory, Evo into Lady Devimon, add back Hurricane Screw Shot, trash Hurricane Screw Shot, activate Red Bind Trigger instead, just so I can trash the security, and then put him to critical. And I'm like, what happens now? He goes like, and I just turn Lady Debbie sideways and I go for game.
That's such a Drew thing. He doesn't let you just go for a game. He'll be like, I don't know. Let's see what happens if you swing now.
but game 1 also was a little more interesting because I just remembered. He cleared my board. He put me to 5 memory, and I go draw, Kaiser Leomon, Evo, go forward, do Asuna Evil into Lady Devimon, and then I just played out the dual card and just got a Lady Devimon with Kaiser Leomon and sources, just because.
Does that gain retail too?
It does not. It only gains retail if it has a hybrid or Koichi underneath.
Got you.
Correct.
It would have been great. It would have been great if it had retail. It would have had a lot more applications. But the fact that if people see the 3-cost Asana, they're more tempted to give me more memory, which allows me to just Evo into level 4 for essentially next to nothing.
Yeah, it's a nice trap.
Yeah.
Love it. I played against Vortex. Shout out to the boy Bruno again. As we were getting ready to throw our mats out on the table and stuff, he's like, I don't want to play against Vulcanus again. I don't want to do it. But yeah, I didn't. It wasn't actually a 2-0 because game 2, I ended up. I think I played a Vulcanus early to deal with his board, and he ended up removing it because it didn't have any protection. I had to play Vulcanus with. I just didn't find Divine Arms, so I ended up putting like a Sonic Shot underneath, and I put Sonic Shot and what's it called? Iron Slash underneath. That way I could bounce his thing that was suspended and then force his other thing to block when I swing and empty his board. And then I was just not finding a second Vulcanus that game. He just did not come up. I remember at one point I had 5 memory to work with. And I'm like, I'm going to dig and I'm going to find Vulcanus, right? Like I have to. I've only seen one this game and I really need another one. He had a Vortex on the board and I think just one other body. And realistically, what I should have done was just eat the 12 cost Marsmon to fight Zafaga and just get rid of it. Because he didn't have Shoto on the field. because Shoto helps me, because if he taps Shoto and buffs his Zafaga, now there's a 13k body on the field and Marsmon can come down for 7. But I ended up banking on search instead, because I ended up playing Toyagu and then I had a Blimpmon for more search. And I'm like, surely I'll find this Vulcanus. And I just didn't. And by the time I had done all that digging, I was at 0 memory, so I could no longer play Marsmon because he is 12 no matter what then. Even if I factory area, it's still not cheap enough for me to get Marsmon out. And also, if I do have to slam Marsmon for 12, I'm only removing a single body because Vulcanus isn't out to give it rush. I don't think I had Dan and Cannon either, so I couldn't even play an option to get rid of something else. So I was just in a really awkward spot. And then game 3, I think that was the game where he played Pomumon in the field so that I couldn't early game factory area and then get like a free search while also getting my blockers up, right? But I ended up removing it with, I think I got into Loco. So I just collisioned it, or maybe I had Meramon and I popped it with Meramon. There are plenty of ways to deal with a rookie sitting there early game in Vulcanus. So yeah, that's just what I did, and we packed it up and we won our 2 boxes apiece. Woohoo. And the fancy picture. Dan, show the fancy picture again.
Yeah, we won 6 boxes in total, and then we also got this cool little picture. I'm the one that took it home because they're like, hey, he's the shine play, he deserves it. And also I guess team captain as well. So it was pretty fun overall. I'm gonna say this real quick. Any other 3v3 team want to take a crack at us? Let us know. We'll pack you up too. You know what I'm saying? I think, all jokes aside, like, this is one of the most dominant 3v3 runs I've seen, because usually we'll see like a first place get eliminated quick, or one of the winners would be X1 or something like that, or X2 potentially, and get lucky in the top cut or something like that. We just clean sweep, Swiss and clean sweeps top cut. I'm just saying, this is the best DGU has been in 3v3s, because I've been in all of them, and there's always an outlier. Varney, I'm like,
oh no.
Lance that one time.
So it was me and Gino. We knew we need to find a third that can hold it down for when Dan bricks, when I brick, we have to make sure the other person can play well as well. And Lewis ended up being the perfect guy playing Beelstar. Glad he chose Beelstar. Because he was almost going to pick a different deck, and I'm kind of glad we convinced him not to and let Gino play Vulcanus instead.
Yeah. I was like, Gino, let me see your Vulcanus deck. He's like, yo, this shit nice. This shit nice. And I'm like, you know what? It is nice, but I don't want to play it. It's too technical. It's technical in the just I see options, and I'm like, I'm gonna pitch him and draw cards. And I'm happy that I got all my Beelstar stuff on time. Small shout out to one of my locals, Toy Wiz, for holding down all the cards for me that I needed, and to one of my boys, Seb, for loaning me the missing pieces for the deck, because I couldn't make the time on Friday to meet with someone to pick up the actual Beelstar pieces I needed. So if it wasn't for them having everything together, including the 8 copies of Toyagumon that are now in my possession, I wouldn't have been able to play the deck out and really shell out. Would have had to make some really subpar things.
You still got my image trainings. I just remember that. Yeah,
he took them home.
They're mine now. No, I'll ship them to you.
Don't worry about it.
I'll ship them to you. Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Well, we're probably gonna see each other at one of the store regionals.
Maybe. Yep.
Yeah.
Hold it till then. I ain't know where I just remembered about them just now.
Time to rack
and those Toyagus, how dare you steal my Toyagus too? Jesus Christ.
They're our Toyagumons.
My fault.
Listen, Dan, me and Lewis were both playing Toyagumons. I don't know why you were on Toyagumon in your list.
True. Yeah. Hey, yo, ME comes out, I'm definitely gonna have Toyagumons in my deck.
There we go.
And then we can all play Toyagus.
We are Toyagumon.
Exactly. I mean, we all could be Millenniumon, but no one wants to play Millenniumon with me, so.
No, I can't. We talked about it, how you were like, oh, it's like, why don't I play Millenniumon? I'm like, oh, absolutely the fuck not. Like that's for someone who knows that deck, because I'm watching your game with your opponent. I played against you at Millenniumon. I've seen the way you play Millenniumon, and I'm like, man, I gotta pray to God I see these pieces, bro. So I'm gonna get fried.
No. Listen,
I play that deck Digimon, very critical thinking.
When I play Digimon, I want everyone to have a good time. That doesn't happen when someone is at the table playing Millenniumon. Okay,
when they're look, you got 7 cards. You got more than 7 cards in your hand. Oh, how many tamers you got over there? Yo, you got some life over there. Yo, eat this Moon Millenniumon.
Moon Millie to go, and I gotta bring them up because of this format. Tamers are very important, and you kind of need to pop those as well. Moving forward. But anyways, with that being said, today's pod is just the introduction of Lewis to DigiPod, the digital podcasting scene, and obviously the 3v3. Talking about that. But moving forward, we'll have more topics to talk about, especially moving forward sometime this month. We're gonna have a special guest. I already confirmed with him on when he's gonna join. I'll tell you who it is after we pop off. And it should be good to learn more about what he's doing with their group, stuff like that. It's gonna be fun, and obviously, talking about Digimon. That's all we're here for all the time, is talk about Digimon and the current game. With that being said, fellas, any last parting words for the audience, the listeners, the commenters that's gonna comment about how they love Lewis in the group now?
Lewis, you gotta come up with a new sign-off. We always do a last word. You gotta figure out something.
Oh man, I need a sign up. You know what? Let me be the last one to speak, and then I'll try to come up with a sign up.
I have to be the last one.
Oh, it has to be the last one. Oh,
yeah, Dan has to say goodbye.
All right. Well, I appreciate you all, guys. I appreciate being here. And you know what, Tamers? I'm coming for that. I'm coming for the win next time. I'm taking it all. I'm taking it all.
You did take it all with the 3v3.
I'm gonna take it all. Yeah. For the next one too. And all these regionals coming up. So excited, much excited.
That being said, Dan can take us out.
Yeah, Dan.
Make sure you like the button, hit the like button, comment below what your thoughts about what we do in the future of DigiPod, the digital podcast, and don't forget to subscribe so you see more podcasts from us. With that being said, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.
Moment time, everybody.